Okay, we're live. 1,500 subscribers. Unannounced live stream is best live stream. Let's see. I also want to use this opportunity to test something out. All right. Okay. Cool. Just gonna do what I always do. Let's work out and do my own thing. If people have questions, ask away. I'll answer them. And yeah. Let's see. What I'm gonna do. Probably my upper body, with exception to my back. Back is pretty sore. Hey man, that logo seems familiar. I've seen that logo before. What's up, man? All right. I've not really seen much difference in my body with the bull walker over recent months. Press-ups, is that the same as push-ups? Have done more for me. You know, really depends on how you train with it. Like I would really have to see how you utilize the bull worker in order for me to really make an assessment about that. How good is the bull worker? Yeah, same thing. Like it really just depends on how you use it. If you use it properly, it is as effective as free weights. And for some muscle groups, I find it to be superior. I don't know why only the old work with the bull worker. Because it's you know, more of a thing from their generation. Public gyms, at least worldwide, is a pretty new phenomenon. Like back in the day, it was far more common to have, you know, not really a home gym, but to have a lot of tools at home for you to use to work out with. Like, for example, the bull worker, or the power twister, or the chest expander. Probably because it's an old device, it came out over 50 years ago. Yeah, exactly. It's just more, you know, it's more of a thing from that generation. But Frankie, I am considering to release a video going over some of the things that could help someone to make their bull worker workouts more effective. But overall, yeah, the most common mistakes that someone could make is do really quick repetitions like this. Or yeah, not like this, it's like an exaggeration, but you know, just like this. You know, do slow repetitions. Try to have a good mind-muscle connection. Utilize isometrics, but don't overuse them. And yeah, like especially like the mind-muscle connection, I think that's a very important thing. Most people, like I absolutely noticed this when I initially trained with a bull worker, is that I wasn't really working on a mind-muscle connection. So it was just kind of, yeah, how should I put it? I was just kind of doing my reps like this, you know? It's just a very common beginner mistake. Yeah, same as push-ups. How should you use it then? Well, I gave a few examples. The lower back exercise is hardest for me. That's interesting, like push-ups, you know, usually a high repetition movement. I gotta say that I personally respond very well to high repetitions as well. Shit. Yeah, man, again, like I said, mind-muscle connection, very important. Like you like while you work out, you know, you have to feel that your muscles are doing something, right? That is very important. You have to know where you feel the pain, and you have to ensure that you know, that you actually do feel some pain, that you get some muscle damage, some proper soreness going. That is very important. And yeah, just don't use proper repetitions, and don't rely too much on isometrics. Let's see. Okay. That's what I'm gonna do. I miss your uploads. Sometimes when you don't upload, I think you will never upload again. Yeah, if I'm going to quit YouTube, I will make a public announcement. But for now, I am back. And who knows? Maybe I will do 2 more videos and then I will disappear for another 6 months. You never know. It's always a surprise what you're gonna get from me. Good to hear. Let's see. One more set of this. Just tuned in. What did I miss? Not much. Me working out as usual. I was actually thinking of I ordered a gimbal from DJI, the Ronin SC1, and I was actually thinking about doing a live stream of me unboxing it and testing it out, just to kind of switch things up. But yeah, I have to wait at least till tomorrow before it arrives. Also, I don't think that it would be really interesting to show you guys me unboxing a gimbal. Another good tip. I've not really talked about this yet in videos, but using isomotion in combination with isotonic, right, this is isotonic, and isometric exercise. This is isometric, this is a hold, and this is isomotion. That is very effective. Like if you cannot manage to get a good burn going with conventional bull worker exercise, then for me at least isomotion really does the trick. It's something that I really want to do more than one video on, because I really think that it is an important key component to maximizing your bull worker gains and just gains in general. But there's a lot to it. There's a lot more to isomotion than what meets the eye. And it's tough. It's very draining, at least to me. Let's see, seven viewers and 8 likes. Nice. I wonder if this is going to be like last time, the moment that I want to close off the live stream, so only people come and join in. Does Machismo have a workout plan or just work out randomly every time? Like work on what he feels needs to be worked on that day? You know, let me answer this one first. Can you gain muscle mass with power twister? Yes, you can. I do have a plan, but I'm not like very strict with like, oh, I'm going to do these specific exercises this day, or I'm going to train specifically this muscle part on like Tuesday and that other muscle part on Thursday, whatever, you know. Like I do have a plan in a sense, but I also just kind of do what I want, what I feel like doing. And I also, you know, work the muscles that feel most recovered. Although I would say that a part of my routine, well, yeah, a part of my workouts is always a routine. So, like, I will always have a specific goal in mind. For example, yeah, kind of like you said, there will always be like one or two body parts that I'm really focused on, that I really want to bring up during a specific period of time. Okay, let's see. Can do another set for the shoulders. Like for example, I am planning to work out on my legs, and I kind of have a goal in mind for my legs. I want them to grow by about 3 inches. That sounds like a lot, but you know, assume that 1 inch of those 3 inches is muscle memory. And then I want to gain a 2-inch extra. And in order to gain that, I will have to have a specific protocol to elicit that amount of growth. So that will effectively mean that I will have to do a lot of leg work. Therefore, in the future, in the near future, a lot of my workouts will revolve around a lot of leg work. With what kind of exercise I will do for my legs, yeah, it will change from day to day, probably. Legs is very important. I do a lot of legs more than upper body. I notice results all over. Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't consider them to be lagging on my body, but like I would certainly like to have bigger legs. And I feel that for me, my legs have the most growth potential in them. Okay, let's see. At the chest, shoulders, upper back, all within, let's say 40 minutes. Hey Ed, what do you recommend to eat and train to a skinny fat? Someone that is skinny fat, what's best for them to eat? Give me a sec to think about that one. It's hard to answer, you know. Because skinny fat, you know, are you skinny or are you fat? Do you need to lose weight or do you need to gain muscle? I find that a tough question. Oats, vegetable protein. I assume that first of all, that if you gain muscle, then the amount of fat that you have will be redistributed and you will look leaner. So if you say you're skinny fat, then I assume that the amount of fat you're carrying is, you know, it's too much for you to be considered lean, but it's not enough that you can be considered truly overweight, is what I assume. So I would say that the focus should be on training. In which case I would say focus on hypertrophy, focus on growing mass, and yeah, build up muscle. Focus on your core and really your whole body. And really, as for diet, you should just focus on a healthy diet that contains all the micros, the micronutrients, all the macros, all the vitamins and minerals. Regardless what your goal is with fitness, that should always be a priority. I had a bullworker lying around my house for a long time, but it was only after watching your video that I picked it up and starting working out with it. Awesome. I think I'm going to do some arm work. So now that you actually use it, how do you like using it? Like, how do you feel it compares with things like free weights? Chest expander. Next Sunday I'm gonna do a workout on it. Or well, at that point I will have the workout done, but then I will upload a video on it. I've actually planned a few other videos before I'm going to do the workout. One more set for the traps. It's a trap. You are a great motivation. Thanks, man. That's awesome to hear. Let's see. Yeah, the arms. Just gonna do it. Just gonna take it easy. Actually, you know what? I forget it. almost 45 minutes. So I think I'll go for 90 minutes. Why do people delete their own messages? Don't worry, you can ask me what you want. I won't bite you. Since that is impossible. Can you please give reading tips? I have to say that's kind of a weak point for myself as well. Also kind of depends on what you train, you know. If you train your stomach, at least for me, it becomes very hard to properly breathe because there's tension on your stomach. Like, you know, if your stomach is flexed, then it's hard to breathe in. For anything else in the body, you know, also kind of depends. Oh yeah, you know, not really. It kind of depends how you do your reps, but usually what is it? On the concentric, you breathe in. The eccentric, breathe out. Concentric, breathe in. Eccentric, breathe out. That's really the basic to breathing during exercise. Do you count calories or just doing a healthy diet? I just do a healthy diet, and personally, to me, counting calories, at least to me, it doesn't matter, because I can eat 3,000 calories, I can eat 5,000 calories. The weight gain is, it would be the same. I have a very weird metabolism. But if you are someone that easily gains fat, then counting calories is most likely very important for you. And you know, the more weight you gain, the more fat-free mass you gain, the more calories you can eat. What I find more important is that you ensure that you get enough of your macronutrients. So get enough, get enough fat for your hormonal health, get enough protein for muscle synthesis, and get enough carbs for your energy and also for your glycogen stores. Did you watch the boxing Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones? I have not watched it, but I have heard that it was kind of disappointing. But, I haven't watched it, so I'm not sure. Is the Bullworker steel bow good for burning chest fat, or also in addition to cardio? Yeah, it's when it comes to burning fats, it is as good as the bow classic. It's all about burning calories, and it doesn't matter if you're going to use a steel bow for that or a bow classic, as long as you burn the calories. Can you gain muscle with isometric or increase your power? When we talk about power, what I think of is explosive movement, right? So this is power, explosive movements, like a snatch or what do you call it? Like a power lift, like powerlifting, right? That's what I think of when you say power. And when it comes to power, I would say that the Bullworker is not really that great for developing power, but it is great for developing strength, especially isometric strength. But the thing is, the Bullworker, to my, at least in my opinion, it isn't really that great for explosive power. It simply, the range of motion is not fit for it. So that's my opinion on the Bullworker when it comes to power. As for muscle gain, yes, isometrics can definitely be used for muscle gain. You can't burn just chest fat. When you burn, fat comes everywhere. Yes, that is true. Spot reduction is not a real thing, people. And if you don't believe me, then you can just search into YouTube spot reduction, and you have plenty of high-ranking fitness individuals who will tell you the same thing. It just doesn't work that way. What you can do, at least I am of the belief that if you gain muscle mass in a certain area, so let's say you have some fat on your biceps and you really start to focus on your arms, you really want to grow your arms, right? And you gain an inch on your arms, but you don't lose actual fat, right? Like the amount of fat on your arms is still the same, but you gain an inch of muscle on your arms. If you gain that inch of muscle on your arms, the fat that you have will be distributed more thinly, so it will give the illusion like your arm is leaner. Well, in actuality, it is leaner, but that's not spot reduction. It's not that you're losing fat. It's just that your arm is percentually speaking leaner, but the amount of fat is the same. I like what you're doing. You helped me a lot. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me. Thanks. You are a good inspiration to keep training. Awesome to hear. The support, people. Talking by personal experience, I feel I was having better results with push-ups than the Bullworker. For other muscles, I feel Bullworker is superior than the free weights and body weight. Your thoughts? I've actually talked about that earlier in this video. It really depends on how you train with the Bullworker. Very important is that you have a proper mind-muscle connection while doing your exercises. Don't rely too much on isometrics, and do controlled reps, right? Controlled, not like this, but this. Have control. And if that doesn't work, for whatever reason, for me, usually do the trick. But if it doesn't work, what will work is to also use some isomotion. this is isomotion, right? This is isotonic, repetitions, this is isometrics, when you hold, and this is isomotion. When you have an isometric hold and you combine it with a movement. Especially that is very effective. I want to do a few videos on that subject as a whole. Great to see your videos after a long gap. Yeah, it was about time, right? Please stay at least 6 feet away from the camera so we all don't get COVID. I could also wear a mask. Come on, what is this? Okay. Would you do a free weight workout video someday? You know, the thing is, I just don't think people would be really interested in seeing that. I could, but there's so many people already doing that. Even when I did some calisthenics vlogs, that really didn't pick up much, attention either. And really, when it comes to free weights, I don't feel like there is really that much that I have to say about it that other people can tell you. Like, there might be a few things, but overall, I just have a lot more to say on things like the bull worker, chest expander, power twister, and just things like isometrics, isomotions in general. Or wear a damn mask. Yeah, like I said, I can also grab my mask. I have to be honest, I've barely made use of my mask. Here in the Netherlands, we no one really seems to care. Whatever your opinion is on that, I don't know, I'm not really interested in getting into the politics of COVID. I will just say that if I get any flu-like symptoms, all that I would do is, preventively I always take zinc. But if I would already have any flu symptoms, I would just take 2 drops of Lugol's iodine. And this is not medical advice, by the way, I'm just saying what I would do. Would take 2 drops of Lugol's iodine, 6 milligrams of iodine per drop. And I would do that for a few days. And then I would take some K2, eat some sauerkraut, or at least homemade fermented vegetables. And probably a few other things as well, but those would be the most important. Is COVID real? Is it real? I assume that there is a real virus. I have seen that it has affected at least family of people around me. So, however, whatever the reason might have been for the casualties, one strange thing that, no, I'm not going to go too deep into the politics of COVID, like I said. Are we going to get the Wu flu vaccine? Most likely we are going to get a vaccine here in the Netherlands it is not mandatory to get a vaccine, but I assume that within most, in most other places in the world, you will be forced to take a vaccine. That's what I assume. Well, maybe not like most places in the world, but a lot of westernized countries, it will be mandatory. Sad we don't have Bullworker here in India, except for a few cheap knockoffs. Suggestion of any good substitutes. I do know that the Bullworker is kind of popular in India. I do get a lot of viewers from India. But I've also had a lot of questions from people from India, like how they could get a, like one of the newer Bullworkers. And I really don't know. It's just that, India, it is very far away from America, and the company that produces the Bullworker is very far, it's the company that produces the Bullworkers is America, just very far away from India. But it is something that I want to talk over with Chrisman, the CEO from Bullworker.com, and see if there are options. But as to my knowledge, like one thing you can always do, you can always message Bullworker.com, and you can ask if there is an option for you to pay with the currency in India to get a Bullworker. But I'm not sure what the price would be. No vaccine for me. I wasn't serious. No, we are not too serious here anyway, man. I was also kidding around, but the thing is, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that my opinion on COVID is very offensive, but I just rather keep it to myself. Well, the thing is, of course, that the knockoffs, from what I know, they... I'm not 100% sure. Again, I have no experience with the knockoffs. But I have heard that they are more likely to break. Like, they have a lot more plastic pieces. And like a big thing is, of course, that the newer ones, you can change the springs. And that, to my experience, is a huge difference. Like also for muscle growth, like if you have a limiting factor with the Bullworker of like you have a problem of growing muscle, one of the reasons could be that the resistance is just too high, and you cannot do enough repetitions to to fully elicit muscle growth. And before you get real hypertrophy, you get more nervous, you get more of an exhaustion in your nervous system. So like the ability to change out the springs, it's a huge benefit, especially when it comes to muscle growth. I didn't really mean to start as I guess I had to talk about COVID at least a little bit at some point. So why not during a live stream? I prefer Power Twister. When it comes to the chest, the Power Twister is superb. It's one of the best things you can use for the chest. Do you run? A little bit. Like currently 4 days in the week. I do a little bit of cardio, but it is very little. It's just kind of that I assume I have to do it in combination with with fitness, with bodybuilding, to keep my heart healthy. But usually I walk a lot. At least that was usually the case. Now currently I'm walking a little less, as I'm now running a little bit more. So to compensate, I'm walking a little less. Yes. To be precise, I 4 times a week I jog about 2 miles. Closer to 1.5 miles, really. Let's see. 1 hour and 5 minutes. Do the ISOFlow shoulder press replace the barbell dumbbell shoulder press? I would say that it can, it kind of depends what your goal is. If it is for muscle growth, then it can replace the barbell and dumbbell variants. When it comes to explosive strength, I would say no. The biggest benefit really for the ISOFlow is that it's just very easy to take it with you. You can take it with you everywhere you want. It takes in very little space, and when it comes at least to muscle growth, it is more than it is more than sufficient. What was that? Oh, got a weird notification. But again, really depends. If you want to be, an explosive athlete, then, clearly these things are just not the best for explosiveness. They are great for strength. They are great for hypertrophy. They can be used very efficiently for flexibility training, athletic performance, but they're just not made for explosiveness. That's just like one of the, would you call it a downside? I don't know. It just depends on what you want. Let's see. Do you use any dairy products? No, I'm vegan. Actually, dairy was one of the things that I really couldn't handle, and it was one of the first things that I quit. The first thing I quit was gluten, was grains. Now, not too long ago, I have figured out that if I eat sourdough bread, even if it is wheat, then it's just fine, and it gives me no issues whatsoever. But if it is not sourdough, then it becomes a very painful situation for me. Any workout to train the forearms with bull worker. So the neat thing with the bull worker is, so here's kind of the thing, right? Let's say you do the cable spread, right? When you do the cable spread, as you can see, you automatically train this part of your forearm, right? The outside part. Now, usually you can train that one as well by doing this movement, but you train it automatically with this, right? especially when you roll your wrists out like this. You get a little bit more of a contraction going. It's a very easy way to get more forearm isolation. Then when you do the compression, I don't know if you can really tell it, but you automatically train the inside of your forearm. More or less meaning that you automatically train your forearms, and quite effectively when you pick up a bull worker and when you use those specific exercises. Like, I don't really train my forearms. I don't have a specific protocol for it. They are a little bit deflated compared to how big they usually are. They're usually like an inch bigger, but I have pretty good forearms. And that is not from a specific protocol, that is not from doing specific exercises, it's simply from training with the bull worker. So when it comes to grip strength, when it comes to grabbing onto something, the bull worker is not really that effective for it, because you can almost do this without any grip whatsoever. Look, I can basically do this with my thumbs alone, right? So the bull worker is mostly effective for training your wrist strength. It is not very effective for training grip strength, you know? So wrist strength and grip strength, two different things. Most people only focus on grip strength. They don't focus on wrist strength. When you are an arm wrestler, you have to focus on wrist strength. With the bull worker, you automatically train your wrist strength. So you automatically get bigger forearms. But again, this does not mean that you grow, that you get a stronger grip, because the bull worker kind of falls short in that regard. On Sundays, I train knee and elbow, maybe a little chin. With your knees, elbows, and chin. You don't have any muscles in your knees and elbows. You mean like the forearms, upper arms? And I mean, and I assume with chin you don't mean this, but you mean this, right? Hi, hello. Is it a good practice to work on same muscles every time you work out? I've seen some people doing the same workout every day. If you recover very quick, then it's fine to do the same workout a few days in a row. I would say, in the very least, you should always use 1 or 2 rest days every week. And if you're a beginner, probably like 3 to 4 days. But if you're very much adjusted to a specific workout, then it's fine to do that workout almost every day. Like, your body does get adjusted to it. Let's see, have I missed anything? Doesn't seem like it. Okay, good. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to do. How was the lockdown experience? What did you miss? Well, I missed some income, which all in all has not really affected me. You know, the people I know are not really that concerned about COVID, so when it comes to social interaction, it has not really affected me. All in all, it yeah, like the whole political thing with it. Personally, I don't let it bother me. Obviously, there is a lot of inconsistent information, a lot of inconsistent ways in how the whole situation is being handled. You know, inconsistent regulations. But all in all, yeah, it hasn't really bothered me that much. Like, there's certainly a lot of people who have truly suffered through this. And hey yo, what up, my G? What up, G? So there are clearly a lot of people who have suffered through this, and you know, a lot of people have become isolated. I'm fortunate enough to have not been in that situation myself. And I assume that that is partly because I'm, you know, a Dutch person for one, and apparently the Dutch just don't really care. And also, yeah, I'm a young person. Like most people I know are young people, and they are not really worried about it. Very obvious question, but please do share your experience. Okay. I think I just did. What would be the pro cons of the bull worker? Well, I think you know, usually I would find it a little bit hard to summarize that, but I think I've just done a good job of doing so. You know, when it comes to pros, it's very easy to take the thing with you. It's when compared to conventional training, it is superior for excuse me, this carbonated water, so I will burp a lot. You know, when it comes to isometric strength, it is simply superior when compared to free weights. It's, in my opinion, very effective for muscle groups like the shoulders, the chest, front delts, the abs, the obliques. Simply because, you know, it's kind of hard to isolate those muscles with free weights, especially, you know, let's say you take the rear deltoids. In my opinion, this doesn't really work. It feels very uncomfortable. There's a lot of compensation you have to use to get the weight up. You don't only train your rear deltoid, you start using your whole back for this exercise. With this, it's just very simple, great isolation, very effective. So those would be some of the pros. When it comes to the cons, in my opinion, a bull worker is not really that effective for powerlifting. You know, powerful you know, explosive movements, right? Like the snatch, just normal. How do you call it? God, don't know the name for it. Basically, a shoulder press like this. Powerlifting in general, it's just not really that effective. The bull work is not really that effective for powerlifting, and it's also not great for building strength, grip strength. It is very effective for building strength in general, but grip strength is not one of the things that will be affected by it. It is, however, very effective for wrist strength and wrist hypertrophy. Therefore, it is also very effective for growing forearms. So that's my opinion on the pros and cons of the bull worker. Yeah. Having it explained as quickly as I can. Maybe it was a little bit too quick. If so, then sorry, but yeah. That's the problem with a live stream. What do you recommend for getting strong legs, but without adding size? That's hard. You want to grow, you want to get stronger legs, but you don't want to grow size. Like most people want to grow size on the legs. Well, when it's purely about strength, focus on this kind of like, you know, what kind of strength are you looking for? Do you want power? Do you want, you know, do you want to lift as heavy as possible? If that's the case, you know, start lifting, start squatting and deadlifting very heavy weights. Initially, I would recommend you to build up a base. Like, don't just jump into the heavy weights. Like, that can be very dangerous, especially when deadlifting and squatting. But you know, eventually go for really heavy weights and just work out. Yeah, just work on from there and limit the amount of reps, limit the amount of time and retention. Like most of the strength growth that you will see comes from basically training your nervous system, and training your nervous system takes doesn't take as long as you know as getting hypertrophy. Yo, I asked so much, didn't ask this. How you doing these days? I'm doing fine. Finally getting some more time again to do YouTube. However, we will see for how long. For all I know, I will be out of time by next Tuesday. I don't know. We will see. Really like the easiest way to answer the leg question. Just yeah, focus on a strength protocol. Just do a 5x5 protocol, or you know, if you're really worried about growing legs, then limit the amount of reps to yeah, let's say 3 times 3. That's more than enough to become stronger. I always get this question: what do you work as? I sell pet rocks. All right, bro. Time to hit the hay here in India. Stay blessed. Looking forward to regular uploads from you. Nighty night. Good night, man. Let's see. How late is it? You can see for how long. When it comes to obtaining money, I don't just do one thing. But it's, you know, it's one of those things that I'm a little bit secretive about. Not because of what I do is illegal or anything. All the money I make is white cash. But I don't know. Never show the back of your tongue is what they say. Let's see. This worked pretty well, actually. I'm gonna do more sets of this. What's this? No more questions? Doesn't look like it. Oh, there's one. Bro, I saw your video about the power twister and then your whole channel. You are awesome. Thanks, man. I look so pale under this daylight. Vegan aging. So you might as well do the triceps as well. Which exercise is better for side deltoid size? Isoflow shoulder press or bow classic cable spread? For the side deltoid, I'm willing to say, yeah, almost equally effective. I don't know, perhaps maybe the shoulder press might be a bit more effective. I would do them both, really. Like the shoulder press more effective for the front deltoid and the mid deltoid, and the cable spread is more effective for the back deltoid and the mid deltoid. Yeah, the mid deltoid is almost always used a little bit. I would do both of them. Any bull worker workout for the butt? I mean, I do know a good exercise. One that should be effective for the butt muscles. Is this one. This should target the gluteus medius. The gluteus medius, which is a glute muscle trained at all. Doing most protocols, doing most workouts, really. How long did it take you to learn English? I really started to learn English when I started to play this online game called RuneScape, which is a multiplayer, massive online role-playing RPG. I don't know, MMORPG. Yeah, that was at the age of 11, and that's when I learned how to type English. And yeah, then since high school, so from the ages 12 to 16, yeah, it was part of my education. And then also the education I had afterwards. And then since age 19, I would say that most of the experience I've done with learning how to speak English comes from doing these YouTube videos. Because as you will see if you just look at videos from, let's say, like a year ago, yeah, or well, a year ago wasn't too bad, but like if you go and look at videos from 3 years ago, you will see that there is a huge difference in how I speak English. And if you look at my very first videos, you can tell that there is a very big difference in how I speak English, and there's a very big difference in tonality and yeah, how I vocalize words and how easy it is for me to come out of my sentences. But even to this day, I would say that, yeah, English, I don't know, to you guys it might sound fluent, I'm not sure. For me, there's still like a few things that I can, how should I put it? Yeah, there's still a few things that I can follow over, let's say it that way. Like English is still can be tough at times. I improved my English through playing GTA games. I picked up the American accent and slangs from there. But how hard to learn Dutch? You know, for me, not so hard. From what I've gathered from foreigners, it is not the easiest language. Like there are easier languages that you can learn. But I assume that it is not particularly hard. I don't know, it's regardless, it's definitely not my favorite language. Yeah, I was doing triceps. Actually, no, I might as well train my core a little bit and my legs. It looks like people are leaving. That's okay. I can close this live stream down soon. Hi dude, love your channel and your information on health and fitness. Is it possible to build muscles without weights, just with the isoflow and isobow and isometrics? Many thanks. Yes it is, but I would not rely solely on isometrics. Like if you are going to use the isobow or isoflow, I would really recommend you to while you can use isometrics, I would recommend you to use isometrics, but I would also recommend you to utilize isotonic and isomotion exercise. So ensure that you utilize repetitions, like I'm showing right now, and utilize some isomotion with, for example, this exercise. I've done a workout on the isobow, and that was an isomotion workout. And I think that most people feel that if they do that workout, that it's simply a lot more effective for getting a burn than just doing isometrics. Okay. And now suddenly people are entering again. Okay. No problem. That's an exercise that I did without weight. Very effective. Any word on what type of vids are coming out? The next video that I'm planning is kind of unusual for my channel. Yeah, I might as well say it. I'm going to do a review on an e-scooter that I bought. I am pretty much one of the first people that owns that specific model, so I thought that a review was in place. I have planned a video briefly explaining what I've done in the past few months, at least how it has affected my my gains in the gym. I am going to do a conclusion on the whole machismo versus strength series. I also have a short video planned on the effect of a carnivore diet on strength. I have, for the end of next week, I have a video planned on a chest expander workout. I have a few videos planned on the bull worker, and they are not. I've planned one workout, but there are also a few videos that are more informative and to clear up some misconceptions. I am also working on. Here's the thing. I have been wanting to release information on my diet for a very long time. But as time has went on, I have changed my diet. You know, I've evolved how I do a plant-based diet. I think I've finally come to a very consistent conclusion to, as to say, but I have yet to make scripts for videos on that specific topic. But that is something that I really want to bring out, because I have been meaning to talk about that for years. I had a lot of videos on that topic ready, but like I said, I have changed my mind not only on how to do the diet, but also how I want to, how should I put it, how to give out the information. Sweet, I'll get the popcorn ready. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Right, apps. Great channel, looking forward to more videos. Good luck. How many reps and sets and how many times a week would you recommend for over 50 years old with isobow and isoflow? Many thanks. It really depends. It depends more on your experience with fitness in general. I would say that the isoflow and isobow, as long as you use them responsibly, you can use them more often than free weights. They're just not as draining for your joints and ligaments as free weights are. When it comes to repetitions and sets, I would say about the same as when it comes to free weights, like 3 to 5 sets of 12 and finish with an isometric hold. I'm sure I'm not 100% sure, but maybe you have already seen my advanced iso flow workout. I have a workout on the iso bow, which is an iso motion workout. The advanced iso flow workout can also be used by beginners. I think that those workouts, they are fit for any age, really. You can just adjust to what you find comfortable for yourself. What is that dragon in the background? That's the second time I've got that question. Pretty cool, right? It's I think a Japanese dragon. Do you think vegetarians have more options than vegans? Well, yeah, naturally. A vegetarian is allowed to eat dairy and eggs, if I'm correct. And I guess honey as well. And if that really matters, it depends. I'm not convinced that those foods, depending on the individual, are ideal for health and performance. But, you have more options for sure. And should one exercise more while gaining or work out more after gaining weight? I'm asking because I'm trying to get big these days. Exercise more while gaining. When you're bulking, when you're trying to gain fat, for me, my bulk means gaining. Like if I'm lucky, I can gain 5 pounds of fat, right? Very little. So, do you really need to bulk to gain muscle? I don't know. It depends on your genetics, I guess. For me, apparently not that important. I would say, in the very least, don't limit your workouts because you're bulking or you're cutting, right? Work out as much as you feel comfortable with. The more you work out, the more muscle you grow. It's really, to a certain extent. Come on. Will you be putting out recipes? For the diet videos, there are a few recipes, but it's not like, it's not anything spectacular. It is more health based than really, like a really tasty dish or something like that. The diet that I do, it's in my opinion, it is enjoyable. But when it really comes to recipes, yeah, there are a few recipes, I guess, that make the diet a bit more enjoyable that I do on a daily basis that make it, easier and more enjoyable. But like I said, nothing spectacular. Like you will not see me making, I don't know, like nut butter cheese or filled red bell peppers. That's not what I do. I eat meat, but I'm open to something different. Yeah, I mean, depending on your goals. I think that think that the information that I will be releasing will just be very informative for people to educate themselves on, well, for one, how to do a plant-based diet, but in a broader sense, learn more about plant nutrition in general. And I think it's, it can be utilized by everyone. So whether you eat meat or not, whether you're vegan, whether you're a meat eater, it is very interesting information, and it's just it will be helpful in the sense that at least when it comes to the plant kingdom of foods, you will know better what to eat and what not to eat. Let's see, 10 more minutes and I'm going to close off. There's actually a very interesting topic that I have in mind, and I've heard no one talk about this. It's a really big topic, actually. And just for whatever reason, I don't know why, but no one's talking about it. And I'm not going to say anything about it yet. It's going to be very interesting. Everyone can benefit from that. I will say that much. I'm actually kind of thinking about talking about that first, even before I want to talk about my specific diet. But it is diet related. I find lots of veg are hard to digest, and beans are so gassy. Yeah, the thing is, like, there are many reasons why you can have a problem with digesting vegetables, right? Some people say it's the fiber. It also depends on what type of vegetable it is. For me, personally, I have no problem breaking down vegetables, like, with exception to cellulose, of course, because people cannot break that down. What's like a common reason that someone can have an issue with vegetables? I will say that personally, me, I don't eat a lot of, how should I put it, fiber-rich vegetables. Not because I think it's bad to eat those things, but I do have my questions about if it is okay to eat a lot of those things. Personally, it has not affected me in a negative sense, depending on how I do my diet. But let's say how should I put it? There are ways to get more nutrition in your diet by eating less vegetables. If that makes any sense. Probably doesn't. How old are you, bro? 25. As for beans making you gassy, if you buy store-bought beans in a tin container or in glass, those are usually processed in such a way that they don't break down the sugars that cause gas. If you want to break that down, you will have to soak your own beans, and the best way to break down that specific sugar is with a little bit of sodium bicarbonate and a little bit, I believe, wakame or any other seaweed. Keep doing what you're doing. Looking forward to my informative videos. Peace and love to you and your family. Thanks, man. Same to you. But I will say, there are some beans that I cannot, I can digest them, but it's uncomfortable to digest them. For example, I cannot break down, I say I cannot break them down. I can break it down, but it's just, it's painful, uncomfortable. Chickpeas, I cannot digest those properly. At least it's very uncomfortable. Beluga lentils, I cannot break those down. I keep saying I can break them down. I can break them down, but it's painful. Or at least makes me very gassy. And there's another bean. Atsuki? I'm not sure. So I never eat those beans. So you kind of have to, look for yourself which beans you can eat and which beans you can't eat. Most people can digest brown or green lentils without too much trouble. That's pretty much the easiest legume to consume, and that's really that's the legume I eat most of. And the second best choice would be green peas, and then black-eyed peas. Yes, those are my 3 top choices. Boiled, cooked vegetables versus raw really depends on the vegetable. Like, for example, you should never eat broccoli raw. Kale should not be eaten raw. Celery can be eaten raw. Lettuce can be eaten raw, just fine. Red beets, great if you eat them raw. It really depends on the vegetable. Personally, for me, tomatoes, I can only eat them raw. If I eat them cooked, I get histamine reactions. So it really depends on the vegetable. Thanks for so many great tips, man. Stay awesome. Thanks, man. Thanks for watching the live stream. See, I'm gonna close off at 2 hours. So if you guys got any more questions, and this is the time to ask them, because the next live stream will be when I hit 5,000. Well, I'm not sure, but that is a possibility. Where are those eyebrow exercises? Yeah, man, I gotta work on those eyebrows. Have you reached the peak number in your bullworker? Elaborate on that, what do you mean? Have you reached the peak number in your bullworker? The peak? Oh, like the maximum number? Like, have I completely closed it? I mean, if I've trained for it, I can completely close this one like once. And it took me many years to do that. And now, like, if I would train for it now, then maybe it would take a few months to be able to do it. But initially it took me years to be able to do it. And I can do that once. So currently I'm not trained for it. So that's as far as I can get it. This one has the lightest spring, right? And when it comes to the higher springs, the heavier springs, and the newer one, I don't think that I am able to ever fully compress those springs. I don't think I will ever be able to fully compress the. Wait, hold on. I don't think I will ever be able to fully compress the red and black springs because my body is not built for it. I just don't have the proper frame. I mean, that's more fit for guys who are 6 feet two who weigh 220 pounds. It's just not for me. But my my limit lies there. Hair growing tips. Hair growing tips. Ensure that you eat a diet with as many nutrients as possible. I mean, if you're going to research it, every nutrient somehow affects hair growth in one way or another. So the best bet is to ensure that you get all the nutrients you need. But I've heard specifically good about biotin and I believe retinol, but I'm not sure. Your ideal woman. My ideal woman. Always horny, that's one thing. uh, yeah. I mean, are we talking about looks? Are we talking about personality? Can only make it up to 85, man. How long will it take me to reach 175? That really depends on a lot of things. That really depends on how you train with the bulwark, how often you use it. It depends on the spring that you're using. With that being said, for me, as a growing young man, it took me many years. Nighty night. I am sunny San Francisco. Wait, come on. What is? Oh, okay, from sunny San Francisco at high noon. Okay, man. Good night, and thanks for joining the live stream. I will be closing this any minute now, anyway. But yeah, when it comes to women, I wouldn't say I am that picky. On the other hand, I am not someone that quickly engages, quickly commits to a relationship. I'm just wondering about the girls there. Here in the Netherlands, they are considered to be relatively pretty on a worldwide scale. I cannot really say much about that, having always lived here. I will say that, in my personal opinion, women from Italy and Spain, on average, are a lot prettier, usually. With some exceptions here and there. I mean, we have some really good-looking women here in the Netherlands. But like on average, I would say that the best looking women, at least from all the places that I have been, the best looking women come from Spain and Italy. How many girlfriends you had? Like actual relationships? Or like just girlfriends? Because I will tell you, one thing is a lot more interesting than the other. Let's see. Yeah, I really have to close down in a few minutes. I actually want to stop at 90 minutes. Ed is still virgin, yeah, man. The secret is out. If you had to live somewhere else, which place would it be? Probably South Spain. South Spain and South Spain in the summer, and then in the winter, maybe the Canary Islands. Want to go to Mars in future? I don't know. I'm a big believer in Elon, but I have no interest in living on Mars. Seems like a pretty harsh climate. Would you like to meet Danny Daniels one day? Who is that? Danny Daniels? Do game at all? You mean do I game at all? Like video games? Currently, no, I'm not playing any video games. The last game I've played was I'm 15%. Jesus. The last game I've played was God of War 2018. Wait, this is called? No, it's not called 2018. No, it's just called God of War, but it's technically God of War 4, right? That's a really awesome game. And the game before that I've played was Monster Hunter World. Iceborne, probably that one is probably my favorite game when it comes to gameplay. Really weird game for a vegan, but that's one of my favorite franchises of all time. And then The Witcher. Witcher 3. You seem to be finding it as hard to quit us as we are to depart. Yeah, kinda, I guess. As long as these questions keep streaming in, I feel the need to answer them. Play Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, I've played GTA. So I bet that is a fun game. But I am, I like to game. I would say, somewhat good at video games. I had at some point considered to do a gaming channel. I have actually done a few gaming channel videos, but I mean, all in all, I just don't really have the time. That carbonated water. I just don't really have the time for it. Yeah, people are here from different parts of the world. The questions might keep coming. Yeah, that's a good point. Do you put up an Xmas tree? Christmas tree? No. I do have one though, so actually I could. It's just not really a priority. There's not really a war on Christmas here, so might as well, right? The war on Christmas. PS or Xbox? I have a PlayStation. And I will always have a PlayStation. I actually, I briefly considered getting the Xbox. But yeah, I didn't. I actually have not gotten a new console, but and I'm not going to get one for at least the next year, because again, like, I'm not really that big of a gamer. Do a tree stream. Yeah, might as well. Maybe, perhaps. It's actually a good idea. Yeah, you can forget it. At 2:15, I'm definitely going to quit the stream. You could pick what to put on it. Yeah, like, what do you want to put on it though? I got some Christmas lights, some Christmas balls. At what age did you develop your passion for fitness? Yeah, when I really got into, like, well, bodybuilding, or like really fitness, yeah, age 16. You like winter or summer? I like both, but I like summer a lot more. Which is why I said that, like, if I had the choice, I would go and live in south Spain, and yeah, in the winter I would go live in the Canary Islands if I had the choice. I would just have two houses, maybe a third house, just to, if I want to visit the Netherlands, then I can always go back to the Netherlands. Yeah, you think that's great? 16. I think that the earlier you start, the better. Famous last words. Don't put me on the spot like that, man. Because I started at 21. Oh, quit off for a minute. That's still a good age to start. Think about it like this way, man. You have people who started to get into martial arts age, I don't know, 32, and they still ended up becoming the world champion. So, what was that guy's name? Don't know. If you could live there, would you choose Canada or US? If you could live there, like, if I could choose to live in the US or Canada, that's a hard one, man. I'd rather live in Europe. I would, like, that's why I said, like, I would rather live in Spain, South Spain. It's a really nice climate year round. But like if I had to choose between the USA or Canada, I don't know. Ugh. Probably the US. But I would really have to pick a state. What do you think about folding bikes like Brompton? I do have a folding bike, so I like them. Let's see. Yeah, final question. One more question, and then I'm going to leave. Whose question is it going to be? Only one more. It would be funny if no one would ask a question now. What car you own? I own a boy. What's the model? I don't even know what the model is. It's a. It's not an expensive car. I'm not really like all into. You know, I'm not into like wearing expensive things, having expensive things. Like the most. Yeah, you know, the scooter I own is more expensive than the car. So, yeah. Well, that's all for questions. Everyone, thanks for joining the live stream. And yeah, see you next time. My battery is almost empty, so this is the perfect time to end the stream. Yeah, goodbye, and take care, man. Good night or day, whatever it is over here. Yeah, it's almost 10 p.m. 12:15 was your final comments. Bye-bye. Goodbye, everyone, and yeah, have a good one.